everyone, Reese here and welcome back to the second channel. And today I present to you a cooling conundrum and something that I'm looking for some feedback and maybe some help on from you, my lovely viewers, if you know anything at all about PCs. So it would be lovely to hear your opinions and your facts on this. And as you can see, it's high desk time. Because I've got some stuff to show to you, which I'm going to put on the desk. So yeah, that all makes sense. But first, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background, just to explain how I got myself into this position in the first place. Now, I'm not interested in modern PCs at all. I don't care about graphics cards and CPUs and VR and power supplies and all that stuff. I just don't have the time to keep up with all the latest developments in this stuff. And I've been there. I lived through it all, the late 90s and the early 2000s. The last PC I built for myself was for Half-Life 2, which would have been in like 2003, 2004-ish. It was a Pentium 4 HT with a GeForce FX 5200 graphics card because I was a poor college student and that was the best I could afford at the time. And it was fine. And yeah, so I had an Xbox and then I had an Xbox 360. And then I decided I kind of wanted to get back into PCs again a little bit. And I'd just gone self-employed. It was 2011. And I thought I can buy a PC through the company. I can use it for actual work stuff. And then, of course, in the evenings, I can use it to play games on. So I'll get something that's quite a decent spec. And that was when I bought this. Let me show you this. There we go. Oh, that's quite a nice shot there, isn't it? So this I bought from a local company called Ginger 6 Limited. I don't even know if they're still in business, and I think it was just some guy building them in his bedroom. But yeah, it actually kind of worked out slightly cheaper than building it myself. I can't remember how much I paid for it, and it's not really relevant. But yeah, it was an i5 at 2500K, so it was a really decent spec, for what it was at the time. And it had a GeForce GTX 460 or something in it, maybe 670. Again, that's not really important, but yeah, I had this PC for years and it served me very, very well. And at some point, I upgraded the GPU to a GeForce GTX 970, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970. That's right, FX. That's like the early 2000s stuff. But yeah, we had a work project a few years back, and I took this PC into work to do some testing on this thing that we were working on. And just to kind of give you the background on that, it was a 3D interactive installation to go into a retail environment, and basically it was controlled using a Microsoft Kinect, if you remember those, the Windows version of that. And we wanted to use this for kind of development and testing, and discovered that the Kinect actually needs USB 3. And I didn't want to spend a fortune on it, and we also wanted this thing to run on fairly sort of low-end PCs, because we didn't want to have to tell our customer that they'd have to go out and buy a load of high-end gaming PCs just to run this in-store demo. So we stuck a USB 3 card in it, and it was incredibly unstable, so unfortunately made the decision that we had to upgrade it. So my employee Tom, who's into modern PCs and that kind of stuff, spec'd it all up, and I just gave him the company credit card, and he bought an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X, which was a very high-end CPU at the time, and I didn't really realise, and I just let him get on with it. But there you go, we ended up with this Ryzen 7 2700X with a GTX 970 in it, which was in this case. And as you can imagine, it sounded like a jet engine taking off. Yeah, it was fine for what we used it for. And then world events happened. We're all familiar with the thing that happened a few years ago, and apparently we're not allowed to talk about it on YouTube because it can cause our videos to get buried, apparently algorithmically, because they don't like people talking about it for some reason. But anyway, that's outside the scope of this video. And my wife and I were at home, obviously, quite a lot, and I decided to take it down from my office into the living room so we could play some games on it, because, like I say, I didn't own a current-gen console at the time. And we played Overcooked. We played Overcooked 2. We 3-starred, 3 gold starred all of the levels on that, and I think we started working on 4-starring some of them. And that's how much time we had on our hands. And we also played a game called Phogs, P-H-O-G-S, which is, I think it's aimed at children, but we had loads of fun with that. It's a really, really cool little game, that. And yeah, obviously had it hooked up to the TV. And the cool thing about that time and everything else is that I could plug a webcam into it, and we could have Zoom calls with friends and family and stuff like that, and do it all from the comfort of the living room, which was really nice. So Yeah, and it basically never got taken back up into my office. My office got filled with retro stuff, and I've got a, Mister and stuff up there as well. And yeah, ended up just playing games on the sofa, Doom Eternal and all these modern boomer shooter remakes and stuff like that. And I finally decided that this looks terrible. It just looks an absolute mess, and it's very loud, like I said. So I've upgraded the case, and you'll notice that this is empty. There's nothing in it because all the guts have been transferred to a new case. And that case is this one, which is the Fractal Design North. If you know anything about modern PCs, you'll probably know what these are. Really, really lovely thing this is. I'm really, really pleased with it. I don't know much about this kind of stuff, like I say. So I just bought it because I liked the real walnut on the front. And it does look really classy. I'm really pleased with this. And obviously it fits in very nicely in the living room with all of our nice wooden furniture and stuff. So really pleased with it. And I transferred all the guts over just the other day. And I got chatting to some people online, and a very good friend of mine, a chap called Rich, let me know that he had a graphics card going spare, a Radeon 7800 XT, I think it's called, modern stuff, and that it was basically spare, and that he offered it to me at a very reasonable price, and I thought, you know what, let's upgrade the graphics card as well at the same time. Finally, it has a graphics card that's worthy of that CPU. And also my thinking was that actually, much bigger card, 3 fans on it, I can run them a lot quieter because it'll be massively over-spec'd for what I need and it won't be stressed at all. So keep the noise levels down as well, just to please the wife. So this is my new case, the Fractal Design North. Now, as you can see, what I've done is that I've taken the feet off the bottom. This would usually be the bottom. And I've got some rubber sound isolation feet and stuck them on the side and basically turned it into a desktop case. And this is because of how it actually fits in the living room. It's on top of a cabinet, and it works better as a desktop configuration. It also looks really nice in that configuration as well. So I'm going to show you the CPU fan and what I've done with it, and hopefully someone out there will be able to tell me either that I'm a massive idiot or to confirm that I'm actually in the right. And this isn't trying to prove a point or anything like that. I genuinely don't know, and I was kind of looking for some feedback on this. So, let's show you what's inside. I'll take the side off. So, very carefully, because it's not got any feet on it, and I'd rather not scratch the desk. This is how I've mounted the CPU cooler. Now, this CPU cooler is the Noctua NHD15 SE. And I didn't know much about this, but apparently I got very lucky with with this because I was looking for very quiet CPU coolers and came across this one and just thought, yeah, that will do. And actually it turns out this is a really good cooler. So yeah, perhaps I'm capable of doing my own research, but it's enormous. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It takes up half the case, and this is a big case. But yeah, it's got 2 massive great fans on it, and of course they run at very, very low RPM. It's got these huge heat sinks on it, so the fans barely need to run at all for the kind of loads that I'm putting this thing under. So there you go. Now, if you're a modern PC person, you'll probably know that this thing's got 2 great big fans in the front, and it's designed to pull air across the case like that, just like that, with that sound effect from the front to the back. And this cooler can actually be mounted either way around. So it can go like this, or it can be rotated 90 degrees. So obviously it goes with the flow, so to speak. And the reason I've done it this way is because it has this panel on the top, which is just mesh, and this bit's completely empty. And when this is in situ in my living room on top of the cabinet, this side is completely open and completely exposed to the elements, so the airflow is really good out of this side. Whereas the back there's only a couple of inches, and then there's a wall there. So I'm thinking, with all that heat going through and blowing out against the wall, it's not going to be ideal for ventilation. So I thought I was being super smart, and then I posted pictures of this on my Discord, and yeah, people were like, well, why have you done it that way? It's a 90-degree bend. It's going to create like turbulence in the case, and you've got the heat from the graphics card, and yeah, it got me thinking. And the trouble with this is that it can be rotated, but I would need to take the motherboard back out of the case and change the actual mounting brackets. It comes with 2 different types of mounting brackets depending on which way around you want to mount it. So I could do experiments, I could put it under load and I could test temperatures and fan RPMs and stuff like that. And then, of course, I could try it in the other configuration and rerun all those tests again and do it scientifically. But I thought, no, I'm going to put this to my viewers and see what people think. So is this a sensible way to do it, or isn't it? I'm not trying to prove a point, but if anyone in the comments says, no, actually, here's a very good reason why you shouldn't do it that way and you really do need to turn it around, then I will put the effort in and turn it around. But yeah, I played a few hours of the Talos Principle 2 this morning, which is my current game that I'm playing. Love that game, it's absolutely fantastic. Turned it up to ultra settings and the thing didn't make a noise whatsoever. I don't think the fans got above their kind of baseline tick over kind of speed. I'm running very sort of conservative, silent fan curves on this in the BIOS, and I also have the AMD Adrenalin software that controls the graphics card. There's an auto undervolt option in there, which basically massively reduces the power requirements of the card and therefore the heat that it puts out. So there we go, that's my question, that's my story about my gaming PC. Am I an absolute madman? Have I committed some kind of crime against modern gaming? Or is it all okay? Let me know down in the comments, and if there's anything I can do that you think might be worth changing to make it even quieter, although to be fair, I think it's fine, but maybe there's something I've overlooked, or I could change these front fans for noctuas or something, or install more fans. Oddly enough, more fans and bigger fans seem to make things quieter. I don't want to go down the water cooling route. It's a bit specialist and I'm old-fashioned. Water and PC components shouldn't mix, should they? So there you go. Thank you ever so much, and thanks for helping me out with this little conundrum. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to give it a little like and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and I will see you soon, either here or over on Control-Alt-Reese. Bye.